This is my new old EICO 950A resistance capacitance comparator bridge. I was really excited to get this because this was what was going to allow me to really check these old capacitors the way they need to be checked. I have the quick check up there, which is a quick test, and it's a fun tool, but it doesn't really test a capacitor the way this one can. And so I found this one on eBay, and I apologize because I've already taken it apart. You know, I got it and I was anxious to see what it was like. It actually looks really nice. I mean, it's got, you know, a little scratch right here, but that's about it. I mean, it looked really good in the pictures. I mean, the case is in pretty nice shape. It's going to clean up really nice. And the ad said it worked, and they showed a picture of it with the magic eye lit up. Well, when I got it, the first thing I noticed, which I've already thrown it away, but the cord that was on it was so rotten, it had bare wires showing everything, and there was no way I was going to plug it in. And also I knew I wanted to see the condition of the caps before I plugged it in. So I went ahead and took it apart, and here's a bag of some of the parts. Has the 6X5 and this main pot here, this 10K pot. I think it's about a 5 watt 10K pot. and of course the knob for here, Anyway, I took it apart, and lo and behold, I can get it out of here. This was built from a kit, and whoever built it didn't do a very good job, number one. And number two, somebody else has been into it. So this is what I saw when I opened it, other than the fact that it had a rotten cord that I've since cut off. And this cap was just floating around. I mean, right now it's attached. All right, I attached it right down there. But it was just flopping in the case, so I didn't even know if it was right or not. And when I flipped it up on its side, this is what I saw. First glance, doesn't look too awful horrible, but it had these two big 40 microfarad 450 volt capacitors stuck in here, okay? And when I say they were stuck, I mean obviously this one was attached right here, and this one, to be quite honest with you, I don't remember where it was stuck, but they were in there. And I'm looking at the schematic. Now granted, I don't have a 950A schematic. I couldn't find a 950A schematic. I have a 950 and I have a 950B schematic. So I started comparing it to the 950A schematic and the 950B schematic, and I saw some things that matched the 950 schematic, and some things that matched the 950B. Now that capacitor right there was attached on one end, the other end was loose and floating in the wind, and it's an 8, and it matches what shows for the 950. But somebody had taken it loose, probably because it was bad, and had put those in there. Then I noticed it had these two 470,000 ohm resistors right here that were not called out on either schematic, And I assumed that they put those in there to make up for this, but I wasn't sure what else they had done. So I need to be able to go in and double check the assembly on this thing. I know it's got some caps that are precision, probably, that one and that one, the two brown drop things. But I think that I need to just take this thing and see what it's supposed to be, and just decide how I'm going to do it. So, long story short, I found a 950A, which is what this is, construction manual, not the instruction manual, but a construction manual on eBay for the 950A, and I ordered it. It's similar to like the construction manual I had for my EICO 221. So when that gets here, I'm going to compare what I have to that, and I'm going to probably disassemble this thing and rebuild it using the construction manual, and use the components that are suggested or said to use in that construction manual to put this thing together. So it's going to be a complete restore. And it's going to take some time. And so that's where I'm at with this. But once I get that manual, which will probably be next week, and I get some parts on order for this, I'll start working on this, and then I can make some more videos showing you the progress and where I'm at. Right now I'm not sure where it's at, because like I said, it's some hybrid cross between a 950B and a 950, and not the 950A. So that's where I'm at, but I will keep you guys informed of the progress and the outcome, and I'm hoping I can make a really good tool out of this, because I've got a lot of old capacitors that I need to verify are good. So this will be the tool that will allow me to do that. So sorry to be long-winded, but I did want to show you the latest project that's coming on board here, as soon as I get everything I need to do it, and my construction manual, and we'll go from there. So thank you for watching. So here I am back on my EICO model 950A restoration. When we last left, I was showing you that I didn't have any idea what somebody had done to it. I did get my construction manual, and it wasn't as bad as I was thinking it was going to be. But yes, there was some stuff that was wrong, but I did correct all that. And let's see if I can turn this. Maybe I'll get a better picture if I turn it like this. I hope so. So anyway, this is it. It actually does work now that I've done the things I've done. So let me show you what I've done. Disregard this old capacitor on the front right here. This is for demonstration purposes here in a little bit. So excuse my messy bench. Okay. So here is the top side. This 6X tube was fine. The I tube, which is the 1629, was not good. I got lucky because I had one in my stash. Hold on. So this is the one that was in it. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but if I hold the bottom, you can probably see that that is loose, and the whole thing is loose and moving around. And you can see it kind of looks kind of black around the bottom. You can see that kind of dark. It actually lit a little bit, but it was extremely weak, and not worth a darn. So anyway, I got lucky. I had one. So that's that right there. The two resistors on the back are within tolerance, so I didn't change them out. This cap here is a precision cap. That's the size it was called for. I didn't change it. I didn't change these caps. So I really didn't have a good way of checking them. And they're precision caps, and I didn't want to change them out since they were precision. The P1 pot here, I had taken that, cleaned it, got it nicely operational. And I added this ground wire because I put a 3-wire grounded plug on it. There it is, plugged into my volt amp meter and then plugged into my variac, isolated variac. So I haven't really cleaned anything yet. I'm planning on cleaning all this up before I put it completely back together, but I do want to show you what I found. So on the bottom here, up here is mainly where I did most of the changes. It called for an 8 microfarad capacitor, electrolytic right there, and it called for a 4. Actually, it gave you a range. It said 4 to 8. I put a 6.8 in there. That's the little black one right there. Changed all of the resistors. They were all slightly out of tolerance, but I have all these 1% precision resistors, so I went ahead and put those in. This 1 mega ohm potentiometer had some issues. I took it completely apart, cleaned it, put some deoxide in it, and it came back nice. Changed the resistor here and here, and cleaned that pot right here. And I left those precision brown drops in there because they are the right tolerance and size. So I didn't change anything else in this other than that. And then I added my 3-wire power cord. I haven't fused it yet. I am planning on fusing it, but I wanted to see what it would do. When I get done cleaning it and testing the case, I'll probably use that hole right there to add a fuse from the rear. But anyway, I got it together, and it actually works. It is pretty darn accurate. And so I'm going to turn it on. Turn on my power. You can see my voltage there, about 116 volts. We'll sit here and watch this for a minute, and we should get the green eye on in a minute as it comes to life. I guess it'd help if I turn the switch on. That might help. Yeah, I was actually pretty excited to get this thing to the point where I could turn it on. So here comes the iTube. And so right now this is a 8 microfarad electrolytic capacitor in here right now. I've got it on the voltage test, which under voltage, if you watch the eye, it should be open like that. So right now I've got very low voltage to go into it, and it's open. And as I increase the voltage, it's going to close, and then it should open back up again. Right now I've got about 9 volts, and you can see it's starting to open back up again. Not opening real fast, but it is opening. And it's open. I'll give it just a little bump back up more As you can see, it closed. It's just very slowly opening. This is about 10 volts here. Take it up to about 20 volts. And you can see it's not really opening any. Now, that being said, this is rated at 500 volts. And it stops opening up at around 20 volts or less. So that particular capacitor is no good. Now, the other way of checking this is right here. I was checking the voltage, but we can check the size of it. It's supposed to be an 8. So let's get on the right scale to check this. It should be right there. Okay, and then we're going to turn this. This should be an 8 microfarad. And let's see if I can read this scale right. Let's see. So an 8 should be around in here, because that's a 10, right? Okay, so let's watch the eye. I'll rotate it around. Alright, see how it opened right there? You take it as far as it'll open, and that's what it is. Now, let's see where we're at. It is on about 11. Get this thing right there. There you go. Where the 10 is right there. It's on about 11. And as you can see, it's supposed to be 8. It's on 11. So I thought that the meter was off, or this comparator bridge was off. And so I tested it on my digital meter, and lo and behold, it was 11.25. So this tool is actually very accurate. So now I'll show you on a new capacitor what it does. See if I can do this without getting zapped. There we go. That's off. Here's a brand new 0.1. So we'll stick it in here. See if I can get it in here right. Alright. So I gotta get this, let's see, 0.1. Make sure I get this on the right scale. Yeah, there we go. Right. See, we're watching the eye. Open to the widest point. And if we come down here, that line right there is the 0.1. If you look up here, you can see that. See? 0.1. So we put it back down to the widest point. Yeah, it's pretty much on 0.1. So it's pretty accurate. Now, if we go down here, I'm sorry, I'm not doing very good. I'm not a very good camera person. So if I turn this back over here to our voltage test, alright, and I start to put voltage on it. As I put, this is rated at 650. Unfortunately, this meter only goes to 500. But here's, I'm sitting at 10. I'm going to turn it to 50. You can see how quickly it opens back up, and it should, because that's brand new. Here's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, and it's working perfectly. So I turn it back down. Okay, so it's working really, really well. Now, the other thing you can do is you can check resistors on this, and let me grab a sample resistor. I'll grab one out of my box over here. I got a box of resistors over here. Let's go with I don't know. Let's go with something over between 50 ohms and 50,000 ohms. So 50 to 50,000 voltage off. Let's see what I can find here. Let's go with 47. Let's go with something I can take off here easy. 68. I got a package of 68s here. Let me see if I can get one of them out of here. I apologize. I'm new at this YouTube stuff and trying to do things with one hand. I guess I'm going to have to get some sort of a tripod or something for the camera for when I'm filming this stuff. Sorry about that. Okay. One-handed, I got one out. Alright, so this is a 68K. So let's get it in here. Attempt to get it in here. One-handed. Alright. Oh, came out. Sorry if I'm making you guys dizzy. Sometimes I make myself dizzy. Well, shoot. Give me a second. See if I can kind of prop this camera. Apologize for this, but I gotta have both hands. Alright. There's that one. Definitely need to invest in a tripod, obviously, before I do too many more of these. Alright. I've got the 68 in there. Alright. So we've got our selector set on 50 ohms to 50k ohms. That won't work for us, obviously, because we are on a 68k. So I guess I better turn this up one like that and see if we can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this until I get the eye to open wide. So there it goes. Okay. See, I did that. Turn it up, and put it to the widest point. And this is a 68K. So let's see where we are right now. $65, $70. Looks like we're right there at 68. So I'd say that we've got a pretty good accurate meter here per checking. Now if I wanted to throw a 680 in there or another variation of that same thing, I would be able to adjust that, and depending upon which side, like in this one, if I had a 680 over here, 680,000, then I could put it over here on Comparator, and it should be like 10% greater. So I'd come over here and read it on, it should show like the 10. But so that's the tool. So the next thing I got planned for it is to clean it up really nicely and mount it in the case and fuse it. And this is ready to go in my test tools, and I'm very pleased with it. So thank you for tuning in and looking at this. It went much better than I thought it would. Having the construction manual helped dramatically, and I got it going. So thank you for tuning in. I'll probably throw one last little video together once I get it all together. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching. There she is in all her glory, all complete. The EICO 950A, all assembled. I prefer the look of the hex screws versus the flathead screws. They go in so much easier and nicer. But that's it. Up on its rightful place with my Jackson tube tester, my Sprague quick test, my Precision 912 tube tester, my EICO Model 460 oscilloscope, and my EICO 324 signal generator. And my EICO 221 is over here on this one. Turned out a little shinier. I did a little more rubbing compound on that one. And my Knight 660 battery eliminator, as well as my Hickok 133. I need to show you that. I have the video on it. So, calling that one done. Thank you for watching.